polling station. To be honest, the People's Republic Party have only a handful of statements of poll. The people who will have statements of poll for all the polling stations would be the large parties, which would be the coalition and the PPPC, because they would have been able to send scrutineers to all the polling stations. So let me say that verification process that we are hoping GCOM will have to return to complete will be largely between the coalition, that is the SOPs that the coalition has, and the SOPs that the PPPC has. Because the small parties only have a smattering of SOPs. Now, having said that, let me let you know that we small parties were given handouts with collated versions of the SOPs. We were very kindly given, because when we said, well, because we didn't have scrutineers at all the stations, I can tell you that one of the big parties very kindly offered us copies of a handout that had collated the results from the SOPs. Now, let me tell you, in the spirit of transparency, that as the presidential candidate for the PRP, I had a look at those results. It wasn't an in-depth look, because our election agent has that collated copy that we got from one of the big parties in her possession. But I can tell you this much. When I had a look at it, I was surprised, because I saw results on it that did not bear out the results that I had from the smattering of SOPs that we collected at the polling stations where we had scrutineers.
All right, good evening. Here's just a special program. It's just going to be for about a half hour or so. This was just came upon you guys because there are a few things that we just need to put to rest. We cannot allow the PPP with their propaganda. Certainly, they're not winning the game in terms of the PR. They have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's not being effective at all. It's just not being effective because the lies and the lies and the lies and more lies of the PPP, they're being exposed right here on social media and on other platforms. Somebody's saying that I am putting in the work. Of course, I'm putting in the work because at the end of the day, we cannot allow the PPP to get away with what we call political murder. It is not going to happen at all. And the time has come for us to up the pressure. The time has come for us to use different different strategies, as we know best from a political standpoint. And the PPP can't win. They have admitted that they're not winning the PR battle, even though they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars. That is what they're doing. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And they cannot understand how or why they are losing the battle. They're losing the battle because every single day, not because of shows like mine, of course, we're all being effective. Even Otto Martin and his small man show. We've got to listen to everything. And the more we have our views out there in exposing these wicked demonic people in the PPP regime, the hierarchy that is. And I'm not going to sit here and call the ordinary folks, the supporters of the PPP, demonic. I'm not going to do that at all. And that is not what I'm suggesting at all. But the PPP folks in the hierarchy that is at Freedom House, at Office of the President, they're the ones who are demonic. Just imagine they stood there at, what is it, Babu Jan. I don't know if a lot of you know Babu Jan, but Babu Jan is right at Port Moran there. You go down, there's a cemetery there. That's where Dr. Chetty Jagan, the co-founder of the PPP, has been laid to rest. The co-founder of the PPP. And I say this so that our listeners who are PPP supporters, who don't know the truth, that Burnham helped to form and is one of the co-founders of the PPP. Before there was a PNC, there was a PPP. And Burnham helped to found the PPP. Burnham was a co-founder of the PPP. He and Jagan got together with their little political group that they had at that time, and they formed the People's Progressive Party. The People's Progressive Party was not founded by Chetty Jagan or Janet Jagan. It was founded, and again, I repeat on this here, by Chetty Jagan and Forbes Burnham until they got a little problem. And Forbes Burnham and Chetty split. They went their separate ways. Most of the East Indian of Guyanese descendants, Guyanese of East Indian descent, went with Burnham. The brilliant guys went with Burnham. Because at that point in time, it wasn't about race, it was about going after the colonial masters to ensure that Guyana became an independent Guyana. And that is what the struggle was about. And those guys in the Burnham-led PPP faction carried that struggle in a very effective manner. This is not to say that Chetty didn't contribute. Of course he contributed. And it's intellectually dishonest, politically dishonest for anyone to describe Chetty Jagan as the lone liberator of Guyana. It is dishonest, and we must stop that. We don't want our kids to ever know that. We just don't. We just don't want our kids to ever know that. And that that the PPP, of course, they're lying to our young people. Anyways, this evening, Aubrey Norton should be on with us. Our operator Lemon has sent him a message to remind him that he's on. Maybe he's giving us some time to build up a little traffic, so to speak. And Aubrey Norton is our guest this evening on Straight Up. Well, this is a special show, and we want to hear from him what's happening. We haven't had him on here for a while, but Jagdeo dig a lash in Aubrey Norton, right? And when I said dig a lash in Aubrey Norton, Jagdeo has this tendency to behave as though he is the only big bad guy, so to speak. Not the bad guy, of course, a bad guy, so to speak. And he can say anything, and nobody has what it takes to counter him. But definitely Jagdeo is learning the hard way that this time in a long time, he will be countered, and he will be countered in real time. Real time. Thank you. Leroy Nelson is saying, yes. Sidney King, Martin Carter, Jaina Ryan Singh, etc. all went with the Burnham PPP, later PNC. Leroy, you got to write a book. Leroy Nelson. I haven't seen Leroy in a while, man. Leroy and I had a little disagreement, but you know how Linden people love to eat little wild leaf and make up. Speaking of Linden people, Aubrey is from Poker Street, but we're not seeing Aubrey. Where is Aubrey? We are waiting for the leader of the opposition. We are waiting for the leader of the opposition. I hope he didn't get any mix up with the time, right? that it's 9 o'clock when in fact it's not 9 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. So we're giving you guys some time to share the link, please. Share the link so that we can share the links. That sounds good, right? Because Jack Jill can't take it. He only pretending as though he can take it, you know. I mean, we're speaking of licks here, right? He's only pretending that he knows what he's about. He's only pretending that he's tough. He's a soft, very, very soft cookie. You know, we saw how he behaved when Chris Gayle went to Linden. All Chris Gayle did was Chris Gayle went to Linden to exercise his right to be anywhere. But Jack Dale felt so hurt that who invited Chris Gayle? Chris Gayle going in my black book from today. He has a black book. And so Jack Dale wants to put everyone in his black book. Everyone he wants to put who do not agree with him at all. So share the link and let folks know that Aubrey Norton is going to be on with us tonight. Thank you, Will. I don't know. I thought Otto was a weird name, but Otto. And then now there's Will. Will's got to be from Linden. These Linden folks with them kind of names like Otto. Well, Otto does remind people he from Campbellville. 1 minute Otto from Campbellville, 1 minute he from Poker Street or where is it? Watuka and all over. All right, Otto and others, good evening. Glad to see you guys on with us this evening. GT Root Girl, all of you guys, share the link. We want you guys to share the link. We are awaiting the arrival of the leader of the PNC, who is also the leader of the opposition. Tonight's interview, I don't want you guys to come after me and tell me, oh, you got to be tough on Norton or you got to be soft on Norton. It's not about that. Tonight's program is strictly to rebut the lies of Jack Jill, the lies at Babu John, right? That's what it's about. There will be another show that I want to ask him some other questions, but not tonight. Not tonight. We want Aubrey Norton, basically the leader of the opposition, to respond to a few things that Tanti Moral Jack Dale has said today. That is all. That is all. But we're not seeing Aubrey Norton. Don't tell me that he's going to be this almost quarter after. Almost quarter after. Don't tell me he's going to be a no-show. Please don't tell me he's going to be a no-show. Somebody send him a message and say, hey, we're waiting on him. Yes, sir. We're awaiting you. We're awaiting your arrival. Yep, we're ready for you, sir. Let's come on in. Thank you. We're ready. We're ready for him. Somebody's saying, ask him about protest. Ask him about protest. Ask him about protest. We got to send a donkey. We actually got to send a donkey for Jack Dale and them guys. There's who we got to send a donkey for. We don't send a donkey for those who are, and we're all right in the cause. We might disagree and agree and think, but we ain't sending the donkey. We sending the donkey. The donkey is actually for Jack Dale and them, right? And so we have just called them. I see there are lots of people on here tonight, man. Oh my gosh. Even Karen Benshop is on tonight. All these people are on. Hi, Karen. How are you? Karen is my sister. Yeah. Karen is my sister. She occasionally would send some stuff through Cash App for me, but she hasn't for the past year or two. But she's watching the program. Good evening, Karen. Good evening to you. Karen is my sister, so my loving sister indeed. All right, so the leader of the opposition is the leader of the opposition is preparing, and this is an impromptu something. So don't expect him to be in a nice studio and setting and so forth. And he was gracious enough to accept the invitation at the last minute. He said, "Come on, let's go. Let's take on this lunatic Jack Dio." And the leader, we can see him at the backstage. He's preparing to ensure that he has good lighting and everything. And we are ready to rock and roll. We are ready to rock and roll with the leader of the opposition, also the leader of the People's National Congress Reform. Let's try to get him on. Lemon, do we have the leader on? I think we do. So let's head straight over to Mr. Aubrey Norton. Mr. Norton, good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Mark.
I know, and I just want our listeners to know that this is an impromptu something.
Yes.
And I appreciate that you have taken time out to say, hey, let's get it done. How have you been, sir?
I am fine. In fact, I'm out of town. I just pulled in a corner to speak to you from my vehicle.
No problem. Thank you so much, Mr. Norton. We appreciate that. But let's get straight down to business. I want you and of course our listeners to hear something that which is one of the many things that this guy Jack Dio, and this is not just about Jack Dio, this is countering the lies. This is where we know that Jack Dio is afraid. And this is what he has said. And he's urging his supporters them to do via social media.
We did not do enough in 2015 to fight back against that narrative, and it led to our demise. So today, when we fight the naysayers, many people think, oh, we're intolerant of criticism. We're not intolerant of criticism. We don't hate NGOs. We are just fighting to defend our records, and we are not political eunuchs. We will fight tooth and nail every single day to speak about the record and the achievements of this party. And if we don't do it, if all of you who are here don't set up a Facebook page or an Instagram page or something else and join that fight, they will succeed again.
All right, so let's get straight down to that. He's talking about fighting. He's talking about setting up pages and fighting and so forth to counter the narrative. They have been losing that battle. Why do you think he's so afraid and calling on his supporters to set up Facebook pages and stuff and fight?
Well, first of all, if you are fighting the truth, you have to fight harder than normal because people know the truth. He is extremely worried that people recognize that the party is racist. He's extremely worried that he's at the center of virtually every scam. Right now, he is at the center of the EID card scam where they're saying it costs 35 million and everybody that would have done it did it for less. And people are saying that it can be done for half of the cost. And so he is really under pressure. Then in his own constituency, what in essence is happening is that he has around him a lot of the party people who are ill-treating their support base. So a lot of the support base are fed up with them, and he knows that, and that is why he's running into our constituencies. His back is against the wall. I think also Sugate has affected him terribly because of the serious allegations there. And even though they were able to get the police not to investigate, etc., that worried him. And then now you have this report out of the United States that is very critical of the Ghana police force, etc. So I think a combination of things are sending him mad. Apart from the fact that he's a pathological liar, I had to respond to him tonight because he went to Babu Jan,
I
and
was honorable opposition. I was going to get to that in terms
mm,
of your response, but before we get to that, with all due
uh-huh.
respect, of course, he has mentioned recently, and do I appreciate the fact, but I was going to get to that question. Before that, Jack Dave is now talking that they are going to go into PNC stronghold, New Amsterdam, Linden, and so forth, and just capture them. I mean, this guy is sounding like a slave catcher. But what is your take on that? And what are you guys doing to ensure that that doesn't become a reality, even though
we
it's
have
probably.
we have been doing our political work on the ground for the longest while, and therefore we are not worried about that. We will continue to do our work. We know that he could be a treacherous chap, but outside of that, we are not worried. We are going to do our work. Georgetown, we're in Bartica. We have been holding public meetings in Georgetown. We'll move to Linden shortly. So we are not worried. We are doing our political work on the ground. Jagdeo believes that he can bribe everybody and get through. And so that is what is in his head. But we are speaking with our people. Many of them know that they should take what is there to be obtained because it's taxpayers' money, but it doesn't follow that he will get votes. What we have to look at is a scheme for buying vote and intimidating people. We know they're telling young people that they will. Well, first of all, in areas where they don't have support, they are paying people 150 and 200,000 to be candidates. We have said to the people, if they pay you, take it. We know how to handle that. So it's all about money for them. And so we have developed an approach to counter this narrative of everything being money.
Let's get to the point that you wanted to make, and I know you just pulled over the side, and I just appreciate that you have taken that time out, Mr. Opposition leader. But you have responded to some silliness coming from Jack Dale, and you're quoted here as saying Jack Dale should not associate you, of course, and your family with the alleged criminals he has surrounded himself with. People throughout the country and beyond know who Jack Dale is surrounded by. And before I allow you your response, which some folks should have already read on the APNU AFC page and some other places, this is Jack Dale and Mark Kazurki, the late Mark Kazurki, and others. Mark Kazurki was a known hitman, a known killer for the PPP. And there it is. They were at State House there with Jack Dale. But he is now alleging that what exactly that you have responded to, sir?
What he is contended that there's a young man in Linden that is taking the PPP money and enjoying himself. And he went to Babu John and said, virtually, not quoting him, it was reported to me that he said, even Aubrey Norton, brother, joined the PPP. Now, I have no brother by that name. There's no brother of mine that would have joined the PPP. Additionally, the chap he is talking to about the PPP, when they were in government prior to 2015, they call him the general. The name that when he was in conflict with the law was the general, Keith Ferrier. He apparently gave them the impression that he is my brother. And so he went advertising that my brother left the PNC and joined the PPP. Now, the chap is not my brother. Secondly, this is a man who the PPP government made serious allegations about, issued a wanted bulletin for him, claiming that he has burned down alleging that he burned down the Ministry of Health. Now suddenly Barra Jackdale makes him a close person. He seems to be now a member of the party, and he's trying to create some story that he is my brother. I sense with the hope that people would say, oh, well, if your brother left in and go to the PPP, then why shouldn't we? But it is totally untrue. The young man is not my brother. And even though I know the family, none of the family members are close to him. There are many allegations of illegalities against him. But the fact that Barry Jackdaw could associate with him tells you that birds of a feather flock together. There are many things more I can say about this young man because I grew up in Linden and I know him. And so I just think Jackdaw is at a point where he recognizes he's losing with all the money they're spending. They're not getting the results they want. They just went to Wales where people chase them. And so he's clutching at straws. Anything that could make him achieve his objective, he's prepared to do. Don't forget, this is a man who tried to tell the world that he built Amelia's Ward, which was built before he born. And then the next set of lands that were given out, they were surveyed by the PNC and was there when government changed in 92. So the man is a pathological liar. And
It's ironic
I've
that
taken
even
a
today,
position.
yeah, go ahead.
I think also they had hoped that we would not have seen it early. And so by tomorrow, it would have taken on. But we got wind of it early because we had people monitoring the meeting. And so the response was given and we dispelled this lie. But that's bad.
Yeah, sorry, the leader of the opposition there. We're hoping that we haven't lost him because we want to be able to. Mr. Norton, I know in the interest of time and where you are, I want to show some respect to that. But let us go quickly. Let us get your take on whatever this guy has to say here now.
Reflect on the life and legacy of the late Dr. Cheddi Barrett Jagan, a great leader, president, and founding father of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
All right, let's go straight to this lie, this myth coming from this guy who seemed to be serious but is not taken seriously. Cheddi Jagan, and he emphasized the founding father. He's reading from a script. But let us get your take on that, sir, please. Yeah.
Oh,
yes, sir. Go ahead.
I didn't hear him. I lost the internet.
Well, probably it's a good thing, but he did say and emphasized so boldly that the founding father of the nation is Cheddi Jagan.
Well, the little piece I saw, he was picking corns. That suggests it's not his writings. He knows full well that Cheddi Jagan, the PPP can claim Cheddi Jagan as the father of the nation. But if you're looking for father of the nation, it has to be somebody who stood with the nation. Cheddi Jagan stood with international communism and the Soviet Union. It had to be somebody who took the country to independence. Cheddi Jagan didn't do that. And when there are a number of issues that emerge historically that establish that Cheddi Jagan, though a relatively decent man, was not a nationalist in that sense. But in an attempt to deny Forbes Burnham his true place in history, they do all kinds of things to promote Dr. Jagan. Just recall that these are the same people who, when we named Timeri to honor our indigenous people, they changed the name to Cheddi Jagan Airport without any care of the damage it will do to the indigenous people who for years.
Again, we must apologize. The leader of the opposition. We'll try to minimize this sort of internet interruption. We'll definitely find a way to do so. Probably we'll call you on your phone, sir, so we can get a better reception. Is that okay with you? Or you want to continue?
The reception here is bad Like I said to you, I'm out of tongue.
Yeah,
I'm prepared to do a program in the week with you, but
absolutely.
I prefer to do it from my laptop where I
Yeah,
can put the thing directly, because I am of the view that once I am on my phone, I am being taped and blocked. I can never get a proper program in once I'm on my phone.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But
the evidence suggests that my phone is always um bugged and
monitored.
tapped, whatever.
Monitored, yeah, but we're not too bothered about them. We're not too concerned about them. But Mr. Norton, before you go, and I do accept the fact that this is an impromptu something. We'd love to have you back on because we want to talk about what is the opposition's position when it comes to new voters list. Are you guys going to partake in local government elections? What is the position? Those are questions I want to ask, amongst others, that I'd love to ask you at a better forum, of course.
Yeah,
But
when we meet again.
yeah, before you go again, let's leave with a laugh. Let's leave you with a laugh this evening. Bharat Jagdev created Amelia's ward housing scheme.
He said that in the interview with Sue, that brought out the story about Sue.
He
I had
repeated
to,
it today. He repeated it today at Babu Jan. But go ahead.
well, he wasn't born when he would have been a child when Amelia's ward was developed. First of all, Amelia's ward was opened by Forbes Burnham, and even the lands that were issued under the PPP were lands that were already uh, surveyed and marked out for housing and other things. So Barra Jagder is just a pathological liar. He can't help himself.
And certainly he cannot just help himself. His back is against the wall. He's under pressure. Quickly, one other thing before you go. Are you guys in the opposition, PNC and so forth? Are you guys for a new voters list before regional,
We,
local
we, are-
government
we
elections?
continue we continue to fight for a clean voters list, and by
All right, we lost the leader of the opposition there again. I must apologize. We will have him back. We will have him back sometime next week. Sorry about that. We will have him back sometime next week so that we can have some more answers from him. Definitely, we'll have some more answers from him. Um, what else? What else is happening? That sorry, because we countered these lies earlier. Um, we countered these lies earlier, and so in countering those lies, the PPP, they have realized that they have been caught. And so, what Jack Dale is currently attempting to do, he is saying to his support base, he is saying to their support base that they should join. What is it? Join social media. They should go on social media and they should do this and they should do that. But people are not afraid of them and social media. Let them come on social media. That's all I'm saying. Let them come on social media, and let them attempt to threaten people on social media.
When we did not do enough in 2015 to fight back against that narrative, and it led to our demise. So today, when we fight the naysayers, many people think, oh, we're intolerant of criticism. We're not intolerant of criticism. We don't hate NGOs.
Let us say this. He is intolerant. He is intolerant, very intolerant of criticism. We saw exactly, as I indicated earlier, what he did to Chris Gale and others. He's intolerant. Under his regime, his dictatorship, he jailed individuals because of that very intolerance, not because of anything else. They don't like criticisms. They don't like to be exposed. And had it not been for social media and all these different things, because back then when he jailed political opponents wrongfully, unjustly, and he persecuted them. There wasn't this big social media stuff existing at that time. But every step of the way, they are being exposed by social media. And that is what got him panicking. If Jack Jay can shut down social media, he would do just that. But because he doesn't have the power to do that, he is afraid. He is panicking. Look at his body language today at Babu John. Sorry that I have to pronounce it like Babu John. Look at his body language, his facial expression. He was uncomfortable. That is why, because you know, when you get some a rat or a cat is panicking and their back is against the wall, they will shake, they will shiver, and they will do anything just to survive. He is on survival mode right now. One of the other things I want to bring to your attention, look at the participants at today's function. There wasn't Anil Nandalal. There wasn't Donald Ramotar. There wasn't Priya Manik Chand. There wasn't a lot of these other folks. Now, wait a minute. Ask yourselves, seriously. Ask yourselves, why weren't those people there? Those are people who are part of the Jaganite faction of the PPP. But they were excluded from being there. And instead, you have who? Irfan Ali talking about Jagan. Jagan wouldn't have Irfan Ali doing, not even emptying his garbage can. Or probably emptying his garbage can. That was it. That was it. But look at who. Irfan Ali, 19 fraud charges. Banned from entering Canada. Blocked from entering Canada. And all these things. But these are the people who sit there and want to call people corrupt, and they want to talk about fight. They're the only ones who could talk about fight. They're the only ones who could use the word fight back and fight. But when other folks use it, they get vexed, they get upset. They talk about cybercrime. They talk about Ethnic Relations Commission that they recently set up. Again, just watch how the Ethnic Relations Commission is going to operate. They're going to try to target political opponents. But yet this Lagu Bagu Jagdeo is saying that they are tolerant. They're not tolerant. They are intolerant. But because they're not winning the battle on social media, they can't. And they will never be able to win the battle. How are they going to win the battle? If you check in the comment section, that is why we here on Benchap Radio, we don't tolerate the trench crappos. Because the trench crappos come on to distract. They can't have a proper discussion. They just can't have a proper discussion. They're going to come, they're going to talk about F and S and B and this and carry your mama so, carry this so, and this, that so, and Benchap drop soap, and this body drop. That's all they can talk about. That is why we do not tolerate them here on our platform, because we know what they're about. They can't have a proper discourse. So if Jagdev is telling them, open up more Facebook, open up more, Instagram account, and all these things to counter us, it can't happen. No time. It can't happen. Even if we got to do programs 2 o'clock in the mornings, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning to counter their lies. Jagdev, you guys can't beat us any day on social media or with the PR. You can't. The only thing I just wish those in the opposition will get their act together. If they get their act together and join us on social media as well, it's going to be end game for Jack Dio and his cabal. End game. Mr. Aubrey Norton spoke earlier about this E-ID card. It's being done for a heck of a lot of price by a German company. Now, we're told by that German company is connected to Mercury, and that is how they're spending the money. It can't go directly to Mercury, so go to friends of Mercury, and then somebody's getting a kickback, and then those E-ID cards are dangerous. It's a fraud, And those are the very EID cards they're going to want to use at what? Elections time. You know, it's a question, it's a legal question that maybe the heavyweight legal guy now for the PNC or the opposition is Member of Parliament Roysdale Ford, Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford. Maybe whenever he's back on this show, that question can be posed in terms of the legality of the EID card and whether GCOM can be allowed to use that. I don't know. Raul Chambers, Jackie Baird, all of you guys, what do you think? What do you think, Keith Beresford and Wayne Seas and all you guys, what do you think is happening there? Corruption, right? Of course, corruption. It's Jack Dio and his boys. Of course, corruption. They don't care about country. They don't care about anything. Look at all the lies today. The lies upon lies. Sugar Estate, he lied about it because sugar estates were dead. They started to shut down the sugar estates under Jack Dio. Corruption was rampant under Jack Dio. $200 million to the sugar, Skeldon Sugar Factory. $200 million, White Elephant. Hundreds of millions of dollars to the fiber optic cable. God in heaven knows where Jack Dio was running it from. Let them all down Linden, down the Linden Suicide Highway to ram it up where? And then we talk about the hundreds of millions of dollars for the Berbice River Bridge. All of these things. Corruption, corruption, corruption. And then guess who were the individuals who were responsible for it at office of the president and all these things? Ramotar's son, this body, the body. Corruption upon corruption upon corruption upon corruption upon corruption. Jack Dio has no moral authority to speak on corruption. None whatsoever. Absolutely none. And so he has every right to be afraid because they're not being allowed to go ahead with their silly narratives of deception of their own support base. So even their own supporters are saying, I mean, I believe I know I lie. And here is where the own supporters know that they're lying. Usually, Babu John would have thousands of people. I'm not going to kid, at least not under Jack Dio. But they have 5 times the amount of people that turned out there today. The roads will be so, with traffic at every corner, every single corner, every single corner. Can't cut a truck, this, all manner of things. But today, even their own mouthpiece newspaper, the online newspaper, whatever the name is, said hundreds of people turn out. Hundreds of people turn out. That's all. Hundreds of people turn out. People are no longer gravitating towards the PPP. They believe, their own supporters believe that the PPP is basically a criminal enterprise run by a bunch of criminals who do not give a damn about the ordinary rank and file PPP people. Right? The ordinary rank and file PPP people. They don't give a damn. And so that is why at Babu John today, we saw that turnout. And Jack Dio was shocked. He has no shame, but they were shocked and they were disappointed. And they were basically in panic mode because they know they were being monitored by others and monitored right here as we carried it in real time to counter all of the lies and lies and lies. Look at one of the lies. Right, Candy? And Lambert now joining us. Here are one of the lies. Amelia's ward. Where is Otto Martin and those other guys from Linden? Amelia's ward housing scheme created by Jack Dio? I was a little boy when I heard about Amelia's ward. And of course, Jack Dio being older than me, Jack Dio was at Unity for sure, kicking catmarant or holding somebody quick while that person was sketching crab and Jack Dio holding on to the bunga. I can't remember. I can't Imagine that I remember those things. That's what he was doing, holding up on somebody crab bunga. He was nowhere into politics. Amelia's ward was right there. Come on, Lindoners, speak out. Create your Facebook pages. Go on Instagram. Speak out. That is what you guys got to do. Speak out and speak out and speak out and speak out. Don't let these guys ever catch up where we are in terms of exposing them, their lies, their corruption. I know Leroy Nelson and a lot of people, he was holding on to the crab bunga, right? The bunga while there was an Amelia's ward. I was a little boy running around eating sail, or what we call it, chicken foot with sour, a little mango sour from what them places, First Alley, Second Alley, Third Alley. Then you run across with your beer buckton, you go across to Poker Street, and then you run back by the riverside when it was clean and nice, and all the people were there washing their clothing, and we as little boy swimming. Glad, good. And so he doesn't know anything. And when these guys lie like this, we got to be able to counter them. Even their own support base, even their own, and look, Leroy Nelson. It is true. Leroy Nelson is saying, we refuted that before with even the pictures. So something is wrong with this man. Oh, gosh. Something is wrong with this guy. Something is wrong with him mentally. Because if this thing was refuted and this guy was never there when Amelia's ward was actually, came into existence. But yet this man maintains that, look, even Karen Benshaw now become a historian. She's saying Amelia's ward is a large community which runs very deep, and it has various sections. It is reported that the village or the community got its name when the late president Lyndon Forbes Barnum visited the village or the community and met a woman named Amelia. Well, Amelia. Jack Dale is going to say Amelia may be from Unity, and Amelia probably is Amelia Jack Dale. That is how this guy lies. He doesn't care about how he looks when he lies. He is a pathological liar. A pathological liar. He lies for tea, breakfast, and dinner. He lies in his dreams. When he looks in the mirror, all he sees is a big fat lie. And that is why the other guy could talk about looking in the mirror. Looking in the mirror. I agree with Janae Puma. Jack Dale is running mad. I wish, I don't know about Dr. Harry, but there were some other psychiatrists out there in Guyana. Not even the psychiatrists, you put all of them together in Guyana could deal with this guy. He's losing support. All of his supporters running away from him because they realize that these bunch of vagabonds in the PPP who are talking about Jagan's legacy, people are laughing at them. Let's go back. This is what this guy said, and this is how they're panicking. Let's go back. I like the part. Here how he's panicking. Let's go.
We did not do enough in 2015 to fight back against that narrative, and it led to our demise. So today, when we fight the naysayers, many people think, oh, we're intolerant of criticism. We're not intolerant of criticism. We don't hate NGOs. We are just fighting to defend our records. And we are not political eunuchs. We will fight tooth and nail every single day to speak about the record and the achievements of this party. And if we don't do it, if all of you who are here don't set up a Facebook page or an Instagram page or something else and join that fight, they will succeed again.
He is panicking. Did you hear him? They will succeed again. From a political standpoint, and reading his body language, his facial expression, His facial expression, sorry about that, you know that they're panicking. He is panicking. Donald Ramatar wasn't there. Anil Nandilal wasn't there. Priya Manichan wasn't there. Big in-house, big fighting within the PPP. They're fighting. They're fighting. Probably pulling cutlass and thing on each other. But they are fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Jagdev is accusing some of them, based on a reliable source, accusing some of them of selling information to the ABC embassies, of selling information to U.S. law enforcement agencies. He is making that accusation. And now, in the interest of transparency, as that pastor woman said, it is not the first time he's doing that. He always panics. And when he panics, he gets jittery. And when he gets jittery, he lies even more. You see, he's watching right now, and his facial expression. If you could say, I could grab Ben Sharp right now. I don't want you to grab me, right? Please. But, he's very vindictive. He's watching right now, and he knows it is the truth. He knows that. He gets panicky. He accused Ramjatan just prior to the AFC being formed back in 2005. In 2004, he started to accuse Ramjatan of selling guns to the Apache. In other words, accused Ramjatan of selling or giving information to the U.S. Embassy back then. That is what he did. And back then there were the two black U.S. ambassadors that were there. And so he accused Ramjatan of selling, giving them information. Then he accused Nagamutu of doing the same. And he accused others of doing the same. So that is exactly what he's about. He is afraid of Uncle Sam. He's afraid that Uncle Sam would put that bangle on him. Put that bangle on him. On him, mind you, I'm saying. Put that bangle on him. That is what he's afraid of. Some of you might be asking, well, how come they not put a bangle on him? As yet, he has a diplomatic passport. And that diplomatic passport, based on the Geneva Convention and the United Nations, it's saving him from a lot. Leroy Nelson, I know your man, you guys do your research, right? He is trembling right now. He's afraid because he knows he has been caught again with his pants down. Completely down this time. And every little thing is being exposed. Every little lies are being exposed. Every little corruption packages and so forth are being exposed. Every little thing fastened wherever they're fastened in terms of hiding, like how some of these guys, allegations that he's hiding his bank account in China. Allegations, mind you. People are no longer afraid of going after these guys. But Jagdeo is afraid of his own shadow at this point in time. All right, let me see it. Priya Manichan. Okay. Priya Manichan is saying, Anil Donald and I were there. I say it might be you panicking, Marco, to have to make up these things. I'm not panicking. But even if you guys were there, Priya Manichan, even if, and I'm glad that you've responded, it makes it even better. Now that you've responded, I want to ask you this question, Priya, and I'm going to read exactly what you said. Is Jagdeo correct about Amelia's ward? Is he correct about Amelia's ward, Priya? Priya, here it is, Priya saying, Anil, Donald, and I were there. Okay, even better. You guys were there, but were not allowed to speak because Jagdeo has taken the opportunity to muzzle you guys. Oh, Priya. How come you guys have been muzzled? Donald Ramatar, who has spent years with Dr. Chetty Jagan, has been in the trenches with Dr. Chetty Jagan, been there with him, know more about Dr. Chetty Jagan than Jagdeo and than Irfan Ali, but was never given an opportunity, was never given a space at the table as a former president, even though minority, was never given a space on the table. Priya Manichan, Priya, that doesn't look good in the eyes of your own supporters. And from a political standpoint, it doesn't look right at all. Not at all. No. Don't come to me with that, Priya. Don't come to me with that. I am not the one who's panicking. Jack Deal is the one that's panicking. You guys are the ones that's panicking, not me. What I know for sure, Priya, what I know for sure is that after listening to Jack Deal making this point, here is where I know he's panicking. Here is where I know you guys are panicking. With hundreds of millions of dollars spending, Priya, spending on PR, on NCN, in Chronicle, and all over. Y'all not winning this PR battle, and y'all will never win it. Priya. Oh, Priya. Listen to Jack Deal. Not if you don't want to listen to me, listen to Jack Deal. He's the one that's panicking. He is panicking big time. Listen to Jago.
We did not do enough in 2015 to fight back against that narrative, and it led to our demise. So today, when we fight the naysayers, many people think, oh, we're intolerant of criticism. We're not intolerant of criticism. We don't hate NGOs. We are just fighting to defend our records. And we are not political eunuchs. We will fight tooth and nail every single day to speak about the record and the achievements of this party. And if we don't do it, if all of you who are here don't set up a Facebook page or an Instagram page or something else and join that fight, they will succeed again.
Did you hear him, Priya? Not me. I am not the one who's panicking, Priya. Jack Deal is panicking. But let's get back to what you said. Anil, Donald, and I were there. Thank you for letting us know that you guys were there. Thank you. And without wanting to repeat myself again, you guys never got a seat at the table. Because you guys went there as a result of just take shame out of y'all eyes. And poor Donald wasn't there. Poor Donald wasn't there to speak as a former general secretary of the party. And not only a former general secretary of the PPP, a former president of the PPP. He was not given a space at the table to speak. And so what you guys decided to do, even though you guys were not given a space at the table to speak, especially Donald, as a former president and general secretary of the PPP, it's a shame that he was not given a space at the table to speak. And there is absolutely no justification for that at all. None whatsoever. So Priya, you could put it and twist it and turn it however you want. I'm not the one who's panicking. You guys are panicking. Jack Deal is panicking. Irfan Ali is panicking. And whilst we're at it, you're a lawyer. You are a lawyer, Priya. I want you to at least take some time out. And you can call me. You can call me. Feel free to call me on Facebook or wherever. Call me on WhatsApp. I want to ask your opinion as a lawyer, whether it's advisable that Jack Deal should go into Soku and respond to these allegations.
Source.
Okay, well,
Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you. Or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujaro?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a
Priya, I am panicking? I, Mark Amitabh Bensham, I am panicking? No, Priya, I am not panicking. You should know that, Priya. I never panic at all. Look who's panicking. Look who's panicking. And on top of that, Priya, as I prepare to go, just a couple hundred people turn out today, Priya, with all those people that went down with buses and all these kind of things. Oh, man. Is that what is that what the PPP turned into? And speaking about Jagan's legacy, less about Jagan's legacy and more about the destruction under the PPP regime. Tell me, Priya, was it right when Jagdev spoke about the sugar industry being destroyed by the coalition, when in fact the coalition went in there and the sugar industry was in ICU and the coalition rescued the sugar industry with billions of dollars in the first month that they've gotten into office? What about the 200 million sugar estate, Skeldon sugar estate? What about Whale sugar estate shut down? What about IFLAT? What about Enmore? What about other sugar estates that were shut down under the PPP? But because the PPP, they were lying to the people and didn't want to tell the people that sugar was basically dead. Sugar was dead, and the coalition was basically afraid to say it was dead. So they took billions of dollars and placed it into the sugar industry. And gradually, maybe they had a plan. But the PPP has no plan. They continue to lie to sugar workers. Ask Donald. Donald was a director at Gaisuco. Donald was there in the trenches with Jagan and sugar workers and so forth and so on. Jagan knows, Donald knows the truth. It is Donald Ramutar who said virtually that the sugar industry is dead. Priya, I'm not the one who's saying that. Ask Donald. You're right there in that selfie next to him. Call Donald and ask him. He said it was dead. Dead. Maybe that's why Jagdev and these guys don't want to be taking a photo, because they know that to some extent, Donald Ramutar, the former president of Guyana, I don't have a problem addressing him as the former president because he was elected as a minority president. He was elected as a president, albeit minority. So I don't have a problem with that. But Donald Ramutar spoke the truth about the sugar industry. All right, but anyways, Priya, I'm so glad that you came on and you took the opportunity to respond. But it just didn't work. It just didn't work. I hope you guys reach home safely. And I know the battle is real. You guys, even in the PPP, you're fighting against the Jagdeo faction, the Irfan Ali faction, and all manner of things that's going on there. Jagdev, I'm told, is even accusing some of you guys, I don't know if it's you, but of selling guns to the Apache, so to speak. I don't know. But thank you, Priya. Thank you for watching, Priya. Priya, of course. All right, so here it is. we got to go because, look, we have already responded to these folks. And what we have to do, is to keep the pressure. We've got to keep the pressure. Right, Francine and others? We've got to keep the pressure on these folks. I've got to go. It's after 9. I've got to go. Otto says he's on next, but I'm gone. Look, before I go, I want to replay this thing here because I don't have a problem inviting Priya. I don't have a problem inviting Irfan Ali. And if Jagdev wants to come on here, come on, Jagdev. Send me a WhatsApp message. You can get my WhatsApp information. Come on. Irfan Ali, come on. I'm not afraid of interviewing them. And it's not going to be an interview where I will behave and like how you guys usually behave. And I'll ask important questions and you guys will have an opportunity to rebut. Priya Manichan was on Straight Up many years ago. Feel free to come again. Feel free to come again. Feel free to come again. I don't run from them. In fact, I invited Anil for a program tomorrow night. I'm waiting for a response. Come on. Here's where we talk about real democracy. We're not afraid to sit and chat with these guys and to let us talk and give them an opportunity, whether they're going to lie or not. Give them that opportunity. That's the democracy I believe in. Not the hundreds of millions of dollars spent on NCN, and you guys are preventing opposition folks from going on NCN to have equal time and these sort of things. We here at 107.1 FM, we believe in equal time. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe in freedom of expression. We believe that people have a right to protest and these sort of things. Unlike the PPP, that they go after people and they jail people wrongfully, right, Priya? Priya, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Come on, Priya. But anyways, I've got to go. And you guys increase the pressure on social media. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Right here on 107.1 FM. Priya, listen to my friend Crabman. And to all of our listeners in and out of Guyana, God bless you. God bless our beautiful country. And it's time that we take back Guyana. Take back Guyana. So long.
Pressure, pressure, pressure boss pipe. Pressure boss pipe, boy. Umaninza, Guyana de underwater. Oh, on the wrong. Sorry. Umaninza, Guyana de under pressure. What? Bangamary's $400 pong. Trout $400 pong. Oh, you go buy that sell back by. I just come and tell a boy, bisa buy me little fish and mix with me little crab and sell. Thing that just raise, thing just double, the price just double. Oh, bad no. What you could do now?
Right about now, I'm living in Guyana right about now. I am in Guyana no more. I think I gonna go and get me visa and I gonna fly out and I gonna go to Mormis and I gonna relax myself because I am in Guyana no more. I am in Guyana. I gotta go Mormis.
Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place.
Y'all, you already know what I want. Let me go. Give me Palori, I want Palori. Yeah. Give me Palori, I want Palori. Yeah. Give me Palori, I want Palori. Yeah. Give me Palori, I want Palori. Wrong Palori, tiny Palori, fat Palori, born Palori, any Palori I eat same Palori. Gal, you gotta make 'em good, run it up and fry 'em. Gal,
Source. Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you. Or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jerome?
So, my relationship?
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Pressure boss pipe. Pressure boss pipe, boy. Umaninza, Guyana de underwater. Oh, on the wrong.